All 25 8U Cahokia Quarterback Club football members took a knee during the playing of the National Anthem. It happened in Belleville at Little Devils Field.
In this video, I'd like to discuss NFL players taking the knee during the National Anthem. And this is the deal. As a black man, you know, it used to be the Confederate flag. Now it's the flag. Now everything American is pretty much racist. Everything around you, everyone is racist. And if you don't agree with it, then you're a racist or you're a Tom, right? And the thing is, the reason this is so hard is because we as black people are being forced to choose between patriotism and our race. And it's not. First off, y'all are not mad about racism and the quality of life for black people. You're mad because your ego is bruised. The President of the United States call y'all sons of bitches. Well, you know, maybe the President of the United States doesn't get to say that, but this is about black men dying in the streets. Again, if Colin Kaepernick, like actually married a black woman and had a black child, and let's say this grew up to be a young man of 15 years old, let him walk down Kings Highway in downtown St. Louis at 8 o'clock at night for an hour and see if he isn't robbed for his shoes and phone and whatever money he has. And let's just see how he does. That's the elephant in the room. You know, we protest because the cops shoot a thug that shot back at them because they're coming to get him because he shot a 9-year-old girl doing her homework. We don't care about the little girl. We don't care about the hundreds of thousands of little girls or kids who were shot, or forget the young black men themselves who were shot, but we do care if they're shot by police. That's a problem. So if we just, in fact, 15 years ago, we would complain because it took too long for the cops to come get the bodies of the black men as they fall.
I don't preach Black Lives Matter because to me, Black lives only matter to people when the law enforcement is involved. It's not just about law enforcement. All lives matter. It's a black man that killed my kid. So how can people preach Black Lives Matter? I don't believe in that. All lives matter. I need justice for my kid.
But black people are not disgusted enough because they won't speak out. They won't do anything.
Police brutality. How about black brutality? St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Murder. Black on black murder. But yet you assholes are out there tearing up your own shit. It's not your shit, other people's shit. For a criminal, for a thug.
What they brought up, one of the things that they brought up was a racial profiling issue. That was something that, when asked, you know, I said I support my community, but let me just tell you, what I want to do is make sure that we know there's more black on black shootings in our nation than ever before. 340 shootings and murders in Chicago the first 6 months, 120 shootings and murders in Memphis first 6 months, 28 homicides here in San Diego. Black on black crime is an issue, and that was never addressed. That's why when someone says, do you support, you know, do you think there's racial profiling? Yeah, because blacks are shooting blacks. So who did they stop? They're not going to stop a white male. They're not going to stop a Hispanic male or Asian. They're going to stop an African American. That's who they're going to stop because those are the ones that shooting. I went to.
That's the naked truth. That's the stuff the liberals and the Black Lives Matter. But they won't live around you. That's why. You know, okay, so you say this country is all racist and everything about the American flag and the national anthem is racist, and you got to sit down and hold each other's hand and all that. Well, then how are you going to go to England and you hear that tune? You hear this? What that sound like? You heard that before? Well, that's actually the melody of God Save the Queen. So you go to England and you stand with reverence and respect while they sing God Save the Queen, but you come back home and want to sit down. No, you ain't about nothing. So, oh, that don't have nothing to do with us. That's England. This is us. Show that country respect and you disrespect your own, but they didn't have nothing to do with slave trade. Well, the other thing is, you know, if you want to talk about injustice, did you know that there are about like over 100 countries that still practice chattel slavery? Did you know that? And did you know the largest producer of these slaves are from Africa? Did you know that? And when I say that when I say that the white man didn't run into Africa and get the slaves and come out, I mean the white man didn't go into Africa and get the slaves.
This very dungeon housed between 150 and 200 women for 3 good months. This is where they slept, yes, but the place was much overcrowded, so there wasn't enough space for one even to lie down. The result was an outbreak of malaria and yellow fever. So by the time the ships arrived, more than half were already dead. Well, this is the infamous room of no return. That is also the door of no return. When the slaves got here, they never knew where they were going. Neither did they know what was going to happen to them. All they knew was to get out of this room onto the boats. Some actually committed suicide because that was the only way they thought they could get their freedom. In fact, it was the Africans who did the raiding and selling of Africans to the Europeans. No European ever went into the hinterland to raid for slaves. It was the Africans who did it. And before the Europeans even landed here, slavery was already in the system. It was slaves that worked in the palaces for the kings.
I thought it was more, even at that time, than just money. It had to be just something else that drove them to just kill these people.
Yeah, why brutalize it like that?
Why brutalize? But then again, I guess that's justification on rationalization. If you brutalize it, then you have to say to yourself, there's no way we as a Christian people could brutalize other humans, so they can't be humans.
But did it surprise you when you found out that Africans were involved as well as middlemen?
I knew that Africans were involved. I didn't know the extent to what they were involved. And I also didn't know that once they found out what was going on here, and I know that they had to know what was going on here, that they stayed a willing participant in it. That's the crazy part of it.
I think I was surprised and hurt and angry and everything because, these were people that, I sort of had a fantasy about them and as our ancestors, and your ancestors don't sell you. So that fantasy was sort of blown away.
In some countries, again, we think, that we couldn't help it, that the black man sold the black man because he was under duress by the white man. We still see it as all powerful. No, these kingdoms had power, they had money, and they had guns. In some cases, the whites, the poor kids, they would take their hats off and they kneel before the king, negotiating slaves. So yeah. So, when you want to say your homeland is this ugly place, all have done evil in the sight of the Lord. So this is a census document. It starts at 1830 from, say, 1924 of free blacks who own blacks. And lastly, again, none of us get out of this perfectly scot-free without a problem. So let me tell you about the country of Liberia. Liberia is part of Africa that this is how it started. Free blacks who were free, they got their emancipation. So once upon a time they were slaves, and then they weren't slaves, they got their freedom, then actually they had money, and actually there were whites who helped them in this endeavor in which they said, you know what, maybe we'll have a better shot if we actually do go back to Africa and restart a country over there. Maybe it's better for us not to stay in the United States, but maybe it's better for us to leave the United States and go back to Africa. You know how long we've been saying we need to go back to Africa? Well, let's say somebody actually did. These people did, hundreds of them. They actually were financed and went back to Africa on ships the same way they came. In fact, the U.S. Navy at the time even would capture, because when they outlawed the transatlantic slave trade, then pirates would be taking slaves anyway. They would capture the pirates who were getting the slaves, and they put them on ships and send them to this new country. They had money, and they went there, and they right off have a problem with the natives. Obviously it's a cultural difference, right? They saw themselves as enlightened. The capital, because the name Liberia comes from the word liberty. The capital of Liberia is called Monrovia, which is named after President Monroe. And they look at the natives like, we're enlightened. And so what do with the natives? They make them slaves. Freed slaves in this country go start another country of their own, and they enslave the people. 2% of the population ran that country. And guess what the flag looked like? Exactly. So it's very, very, very hard when you look at the fact, y'all don't care about the hood. Y'all don't care about the inner city. It's fashionable to protest. And it's cool. It's just cool. And then, but you wouldn't do anything to go to the hood. If you outran the person next to you, that you wouldn't get the scholarship because of the color of your skin. Do we honestly think, have we come to the place that as black people, the best we have to offer society is robbing liquor stores and all that, and if you get caught, then you're picking on me because of the color of my skin. And every time we graft thug culture and try to make it black culture, you spit on all the pain and all of the Emmett Tills and all the Malcolm X. You spit on everyone who done anything in black history, Frederick Douglass, all of them, you spit on their memory when you say that, you know, I was caught robbing a liquor store, and so, or I was caught doing this, and y'all just picking on me because I'm black. And you think, and we allow thug culture and black culture to be synonymous. Do you think that that has anything to do with it? Or is it really just the color of your skin?
This is Jim Brown, the most devastating ball carrier in the history of football.
I thought he was going to be a great back. It turns out that he's the greatest running back of all time.
Test yourself in every way, stamina-wise, mentally, courage.
Jim Brown, the greatest running back that has ever breathed.
He had great balance, he had great speed, and he had great size. At 235 pounds, he could run 100 yards in under 10 seconds. When he made up his mind to do it, he was going to do it. You couldn't knock him off his feet.
He always shocked everybody how fast he was.
Power. I mean, he had power. You ain't see nobody knock him down. Look at the film. You don't see nobody knock him back. You see him go in the stacks and he come out.
He never missed a game. I think that says all you need to know about his toughness.
Nobody could hurt him. Nobody could touch him. Nobody was better. He proved it every Sunday.
I'm an American. I don't desecrate my flag and my national anthem. I'm not gonna do anything against the flag and the national anthem. I'm gonna work within those situations. But this is my country, and I'll work out the problem, but I'll do it in an intelligent manner.
We must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred.